We are started.
We are. This is chapter 3. No, chapter 3.
Chapter 3, misspellings.
Uncle Larry.
Of the fanfiction Forbidden Fruit of the Temptation of Edward Cullen, it should be said. Chapter 3, Uncle Larry. No capitalization. I sat alone, watching TV at Dave and Marie's house. I couldn't stop thinking about my encounter with Udard Cullen earlier that day. He was so beautiful and sexy, with such amazing hair and eyes, I could hardly believe he had noticed someone like me. Something.
I know, I heard you there.
But I was angry at how he made me feel, how I'd burnt like crimson hot flame when he touched me. Wayne, actually, if we're using the traditional Scottish pronunciation.
If you want.
And how he'd not listened to me when I'd told him to fring off, and how he dared to touch me at all when he had a GF anyways, even if she was a mean girl with an ugly heart and not all that hot. But no matter how much I tried to hate him, I simply couldn't. Suddenly the phone rang. Hello. Hey, is this Altantiana? Yeah, who is this? I asked. It's Mike Newton from your class. I was wondering if you wanted to go to La Plush with me tomorrow night, maybe. There's a party on the beach, as in beach tree, with whole crowd of us going, and I thought you seemed really nice, so I thought maybe you'd want my date, please. Aren't you the guy who hangs out with all the pathetic cheerleaders and stuff? I asked. You mean Bella and Jessica's gang? Sometimes I guess, but they're way shallow and not as hot as you. Which is shallow. And they can be mean sometimes. Then why do you hang out with them when you shallow creep? And why are you asking me out when you hardly know me, Mike? 'Cause you think I'm hot? Why can't you see you're just as shallow if you want to date someone just 'cause of what they look like? She's actually got a good point. Someone in this story is calling someone else out on a reasonable argument.
This is true.
And now to take a break from the slightly logical, we go on to angst. I'm not that pretty anyways, and even if I was, I'm so screwed up in the bran that you can't even imagine.
Her cereal has got major issues.
Someone has stirred her cereal. That sounds like a euphemism for something.
Yes.
You would no want to date me if you knew how screwed up I was. I would, Tia. Believe me, I would. You're so beautiful you can't even imagine. You're so pretty people lose their minds when you're around, and forget their names and forget to brave. How can't you have noticed that? And I don't care how screwed up you are. It only makes you more interesting. You're cool and different, and you are honest about stuff. You are right to be angry with me. I'm sorry for benign, shallow, and dumb. Just give me a chance to show you how much I care, please. Well... ... Okay, maybe I'll go along if I don't have anything else to do. I said, not believing a word he said about how pretty I was.
Major confidence issues.
Just not even going there. Thank you, Altantiana. Thank you. She never spells her own name right. Thank you so much. He sounded so happy I couldn't help but smile as I put the phone down, but my smile faded as I returned to my thoughts. Mike Newton was kind of cute, and seemed like an okay guy, but he was nothing next to Udard Cullen. Even though I was angry with Edward than I have ever been with anyone in my life, and part of me wanted to chop his head off with a sword, a part of my soul would always remain in that corridor where we had kissed so hard and passionately. I creamed myself.
Dear Lord, who does that just by thinking about something?
My heart had soared that day like never before, and I knew no one else would ever make me feel like that again. Then I thought how he was a cheater and a bastard, and my face burnt with shame. I couldn't believe I had behaved like such a whore. I was scared of the effect he had on me. Bye, Tia. We'll be back on Thursday, okay? Marie put her head round the door suddenly. Okay then, have fun, I whispered clammily. Dave and Marie were visiting relatives for a few days. You look so pretty, she says, smiling. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen. And I've seen some pretty barbecues in my time. Whatever, I reply. I hated it when people say that. I pulled my blonde hair over my face. I was wearing a short, hot pink dress, cut low with black lace frills at the bottom, and black lace stocking.
Just one, folks. Just one stocking.
Well, there's always that one odd sock. Dave's brother Larry will be looking after you while we're gone. You'll be okay when we're gone, won't you, Tia? I hate to leave you alone like this. I don't need a freaking babysitter, you know. I was so embarrassing.
You really are, and you really are.
I could look after myself. Marie smiles and leaves the house.
You don't have to give me the seat. But if you...
That's how I roll.
Okay, then. And now I take over. Great, I can't even pronounce the second word. Greeting, semicolon, Lantia. I don't even know. My name's Uncle Larry. Said Uncle Larry. He came in through the door, as in throwing something. He was fat and bald with tiny black eyes and a red face. Hey, I said. You're the orphan, aren't you? He says. Is it true you killed your mother when she gave birth to you? Who asks someone that?
Uncle Larry, that's just how he rolls.
What? I cry, my eyes filling with tears. You're an evil bitch, aren't you? Go outside and wash my car, he shouts angrily. I stood up and left to wash his car. I got soap and a bucket, afraid of what he would do if I refused. With a Z. I went outside and started to wash Hush's car. It was a red Porsche.
Porsche.
No, that's how you spell Porsche.
Yeah, but Porsche's little, accent on the E, I think.
Yeah, but it's difficult to put that in.
It's still stupid.
Okay. Whatever. He came outside and watched me. No tea here, folks. And I knew he was watching me. After a minute, he came over and hit me hard across the face. WFT! I shouted. That doesn't even make any sense. He's hit her so hard, folks, she can't even get her letters round the right way. He poured the bucket of water all over me and hit me again. I was wet and crying, and he started to rip my dress and bra off me and rip my clothes. He's got issues here, folks. Uncle Larry has issues. He touched my naked breasts, and I tried to push him off me. I screamed at him to stop, but he didn't. He bent me over the bonnet of his car and spanked me on the ass for half an hour, then pulled my panties down and started to rape me. I thought he tore her clothes.
Well, maybe he left her underwear.
No, he took her bra off and then ripped her clothes.
Oh, yeah.
He just left her pants on for the hell of it. Stop raping me!
Because that's well known to work.
I cried, but he didn't stop.
Also, wait, point out. Half an hour he was there, and nobody walked by and thought, that's not quite normal.
I don't think I've got to the part where he was in there for half an hour.
No, he was spanking her on the ass for half an hour, see?
Oh, of course.
Which also, that would really hurt your hand. I mean,
Yeah.
really. Try clapping for 2 minutes, and it hurts like hell.
Anyway. The pain was terrible, even tough his manhood was small. I cried and cried, but he didn't stop for hours. Nobody saw any of this, And when he finally stopped, he left me on the floor and spat in my face and left me there. I pulled on my clothes, for torn up clothes, folks. I cried madly and ran off into the seething darkness of the midnight street. I ran and ran until I came to some woods, and then I fell down in the woods and cried. Suddenly a blast of white light exploded in head, and my mark on my hand burned like flame. I closed my eyes and saw the face of a tall white man looking over me with no expression. His eyes were burning red, and his face glimmered cold and bright as the moon.
It's Lord Voldemort.
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 Any way you want to pronounce it at all. That's not in the story, by the way. That's really not in the story. I fell back from the brightness of his body. His hair was dark as night.
Important details.
Atlantiana? I pronounced it right! He whispered in a voice softer than clouds. My daughter? Now this, she hasn't put that in, like, quotation marks. I'm going to assume it's in quotation marks, otherwise she's kind of young to have a
Well,
kid.
maybe the clouds are her daughter. That's like some Norse legend stuff right there.
Omg, I whispered as my mind went blank and the world went dark.
Her mind went blank.
What's new?
Yep.
And that was chapter 3 of Forbidden Fruit.
A short one, but heavy on the rape.
It's a recurring line from me now, even outside these videos, that Uncle Larry has some major issues.
Very recurring.
You have not stopped finding it amusing yet.
I have threatened to hit you with a shovel.
Which is a later reference. You'll enjoy that. We did. I don't know. Maybe you won't. Who knows? Anyway.
See, the thing about the rape in this is, if it was written well, it could be dramatic. It could be kind of creepy and unsettling. But it's not. It's just horribly written.
Yeah, it's just funny. Anyway, that's chapter 3. So,
Enjoy.
bye.